Yo, what is good? My anime faithful. What is good, yo? Dr. Stone. Oh my god, guys. I was pretty guaranteed to love this show from the jump. And I don't think you can say that about everybody with Dr. Stone. I don't think everybody's like, oh my god, it's the best show of the year. Nah, like a lot of people will say that, and to be fair, it has a lot of great moments in it. But this episode was one of the most like overly uh, misleading episode that I think they've ever put out when it comes down to this show because not only did they just pretty much blue ball us with last week's episode being um, the one at the very end they show all of the other people from the other team lined up and acting as if they're ready to go and that they're already on their way for them to then show us this week's episode and they're still in the process of preparing. Like they're still in a position where they're not even ready to come out and fight yet. So why have them all lined up and ready to fight at the end of last week's episode like something was about to pop off just for us to find out that we're not going to get nothing but them finding out not only do they need another cell phone, but they also still need to you know, be in a position where everything is working well, everything is like people understand how to use it. Just because they made the cell phones doesn't mean any of the villagers actually knew what the heck to do with them. So they still had to learn like what the heck they do, what they're about, all that stuff, and it had me dead. Um, but overall, like I was saying, it was just kind of disappointing to hear, uh, or not hear, but to see all of this week's episode was kind of uh, seemed like it was going somewhere, and then it just didn't go there. And they're like, okay, well, maybe next time in episode 1 of season 2 that was announced, which was more hype than finding out that we weren't even going to get a battle, to be fair. So that was kind of cool. But overall, Dr. Stone definitely had itself a feel good moment and touching one where the main character, being how he is, I'm not surprised he didn't really care. Like, he didn't like, oh my god, it's my father. And because it's my father, I'm so touched. He didn't really care. Like, and that's just his character as a whole. I'm pretty sure his two friends that he's already resurrected and stuff, I'm pretty sure they would have felt completely different, right? Like, it's just his character in general that would feel this way, and that's fine that he doesn't really get emotional. I mean, we already seen a little bit of emotion come out of him, which was probably uncharacteristic for him in the case of what his friends know him for, what these people have seen him for. Um, and then to just all of a sudden actually show emotion and stuff like that is actually surprising to them, which is another reason why when they got him a birthday present, they're like, "Oh man, he's gonna cry. He's gonna feel so good about all this," and he winds up just like, "Wow, thanks guys." He's just like, "Thank you. This will be great for our watch out tower when we fight those guys." Like, he never really thought of it as like, "Oh man, this is such a sweet moment for me, and now I get to do all this sweet stuff because it's for me." He doesn't have that type of style about him, and I do appreciate that. Get slapped, Tagoro. Okay, buddy. And regardless of what happens at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure everybody can say that without a doubt, this is one of the crazier shows we've seen just in the grand scheme of all the stuff that's popped off, all the stuff that still hasn't even popped off, like the Stone War. And then just think about this. Think about any of these characters on the science side dying. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I felt like all of this was building up to. Now that we've had all of these episodes, now that we've seen all of this camaraderie and all this goodness, it goes to now say, hey, what do you think will happen, or how will you feel if some of these characters get bopped ultimately at the end of the day? Because not all of them are important. You know, they did help with the science of the kingdom of science. Yes, yes, that's cool. But are they important enough to not, you know, if they are taken out, do they change the whole dynamic of the story and what it gives as a whole? No. That's they only need one character for that, and I'm not saying Chrome is going to get taken out or something like that, but Magma, the father, the old man, you know, there's so many people we've learned about and started to grow on, like they started to grow on me. So to think that any of them could be on the chopping block kind of hurts my feelings. Kind of just like, ooh, I don't want to think about that. You know, like, oh, this character can just all of a sudden end up dead and I never see him again? Screw that, man. Let's not even talk about it. But overall, Dr. Stone absolutely murdered it this week. Um, like I said, it was pretty weird that we didn't get anything, shape, or form of, you know, the other, like the battle actually commencing and the battle actually happening. But it was fine in the grand scheme of whatever they did give us. It was moving, it was compelling, it kept the story interesting, and it's still interesting. So it's those types of things that give you hope for the future of the show compared to hearing all of that and being like, oh, well, that kind of sucks because we all wanted to see the fight. You know, we all wanted to see what the heck both sides are bringing to the table to attack each other with or to get the upper hand on each other. So now we're kind of just left stuck here wondering what if and what can be. So, with all that being said, everybody, have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I definitely will be talking to you very soon with more content. So, with all that being said, take care and peace. That's the same way you got me last time, buddy. Yes.